pace yourself because it's a long day and you're going to see a little bit of everything and a lot of stuff you don't want to see.
Yep. I can imagine. That's what Pat Root said on the broadcast the other night. He was like, don't get too hungover. I was laughing. I'm like, I love that Patty is saying this on their broadcast right now. Just like, don't be too hungover. You don't want to like ruin the next day. Da, da, da. Like, these are tips for people watching our broadcast. They're true. They're true. No lies detected. And I will say, I just expect, like, I'm living in downtown Tampa right now. So I'm expecting absolute chaos. And I love like I love the pomp and circumstance. I love themes. I love costumes. I love history. I'm gonna go to the Tampa Museum before and just do a little research on all of this because I would like to know what's going on before I'm like, yay, dressed up in pirate gear with like an eye patch on. Like I want to know. It's like St. Patrick's Day. Like what's the history of this thing?
Welcome to We. Thomas, you do the thunder sound effect. Thunder. My name is Rob. My friends call me Shooter. You can too.
Holster that shooter, stalker, or I'm putting you right in the ground.
I don't know what that means, Schoolie. That guy's Thomas Schoolie. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that calls him the Professor.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
You don't know what you're going to get with him. So we'll see.
You look like you're Olivia Newton-John and Let's Get Physical.
I was waiting.
Video from the 80s.
You didn't say anything before the show about the bandana, which is not normal. But I'll tell you who will recognize the bandana. Any of the people that I play hockey with, the bandana is, some would say, my signature look, Thomas, because remember back when you met me, my hair was long. And didn't we talk about it a couple weeks ago when we were winning Stanley Cups? Yeah. I had long hair. Carly's not on board. She's not on board. But I do need a haircut. But when I started playing, or when I had long hair, that's when I started wearing the headband, and I could never let it go. Like, I never felt the same without having that headband, even when I like cut all my hair off. So anyway, if there's anyone from hockey out there, they're going to recognize me. Thank you for saving your rude comments for the show.
all I keep thinking is, let's get physical. All
right. You're going to make me take it off. I'm feeling self-conscious. All right. We've got a great guest, but we're also, let's tease a little bit. We're giving away a Stadium Series jersey. I don't know if anyone heard, but we're giving one away next week. We also gave one away last week. So I will drop that in the chat later. We'll talk about that. Thomas Schoolie just went to Block Party Live. Spoiler, who's the guest?
Jake Gensel.
Jake Gensel. We'll talk a little bit about that. We don't want to spoil too much. It doesn't come out till next Wednesday. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what we know is going on with the Stadium Series. It's so close. There's not that much information out there, but we've kind of gathered what we've seen and what we know is going on. And
11 days. 11 days.
There's a video circulating. It's only circulating in my phone, really, but maybe I'll post it. Play-by-play of Thomas Schoolie with our friend Greg Wolf doing trivia last night. Do you think he won, or do you think he blew it and failed like our friend Ty did last season? All right, we can't keep her waiting anymore. We have an awesome guest, a first-timer on the show, a person that's newer to the team, and she's subbing in as the Rinkside Reporter. As we know, the great Gabby Shirley has just had a child. I think it was last week, right? So somebody had to fill in while Mama's doing her duties, and we've got her on the show here. So let's bring in Julie Stewart-Binks. Julie, you know what we do when you come on the show for the first time?
What?
We give you one of these. A lightning strike. So,
I love it.
Thank you so much for coming on. I warned you. I switched it up on you. We're going to play a little game later. This show's known for, they call me Shooter. We play some shooter games on this show. So we're going to play a little this or that. I teased we're going to do underrated, overrated. We changed it up last minute on you. That's the kind of curveballs you get on this show.
I love it. I'm a big fan of improv and just figuring it out. So this is right up my alley.
Perfect. That's how this show was born, and pretty much operates on a weekly basis. So, I mean, you're here in Tampa now. We first saw you on our TVs. Was it this month that you started?
First game was December 28th, so pretty much this month. But yeah, what a whirlwind!
Yeah, it feels like you've been here for a while. I mean, we watch every game, so we've seen you plenty of times now. You're doing a great job. You've got big shoes to fill because you are substituting for someone that does a phenomenal job in Gabby. But we're curious, like, we don't know much about you. Are you from the Tampa Bay area? Is this like you're new here? You're moved here for a couple of months? Like, what's your impression of Tampa? What do you know about Tampa?
And how did you get the call? Everybody wants to know how did you get the call that you were picked to be the sub? I have seen a previous video with you with Coop during an interview after the Stanley Cups, asking him if he eats the same meal every time. So you were familiar with Coop. You've done Stanley Cup things, but how'd you come to be here?
Well, I love these questions because I know how intense fandom is, where when someone leaves, like like when someone's not on a broadcast and something changes, it's like, okay, who is this person coming in here? Like the immediate instinct is to hate them, right? And that's what I expected. But first and foremost, I just want to thank all of the Bolts fans who have been just so kind, welcoming, supportive, and it's been like a real nice breath of fresh air. I've been in the industry for way too long. I don't want to say it, but it's about 15 years. That's kind of showing my age right there because I'm obviously not 15 years old. And so it's been really like a very positive experience. And so I got to this position by by Gabby getting pregnant, really. Like that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here because a baby was born and somebody had to come here. But basically, like I've been doing hockey, like covering hockey since I guess I've done the OHL days. People know I've talked a lot about being at Braden Point's first ever skate in Moose Jaw because I used to be a reporter out in Saskatchewan. And then I was Anaheim Ducks sideline reporter for 3 years. I also did the LA Kings this was out in LA. And then I've been in New York for the last 8 years. If you're doing your math, it's like, oh my God, is she like 100 years old? Pretty much, yeah. But I've been doing like the New York Rangers, which has been, let's just say, a little bit of a different story than things going on in Tampa, especially right now. And so I have known the Lightning for a while. As you mentioned, that video of me at this video that you're referencing is me talking to John Cooper at Media Day when it was the 2022 Cup against the Avalanche, and I asked him what his pregame meal was, and he said part of it swims, or like part of it's in the water and part of it's on the land. And I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, what is this sea horse type thing that this man eats before like a game? He's rolling the dice on this. And then I'm like, gosh, I wish this wasn't live. Like, I'm so stupid while I'm doing this with him. Like, it's obviously surf and turf, I imagine. Like, I was like, wow, this guy is so crazy. He's eaten I don't know what before Stanley Cup game. Anyway, known Coop since he won the Calder Cup with the Norfolk Admirals, and I was at like a Calder Cup party for Brandon Siegel, and that's when I first met him, and that was in White Rock, British Columbia. And then obviously paths crossed when I was covering Anaheim Ducks, and then did for TNT in 2022. That same year I was covering Tampa and Toronto in the first round, and I had 2 games in Tampa, and then unfortunately I got COVID and was stuck in a hotel room outside of the rink in Toronto. So like I could hear the goal horn like 10 seconds before I could see it on TV. And I was in a bad place, not gonna lie. I was seeing my dream job on TV while I had COVID, and I was just like, yikes, this sucks right now. So anyway, the lows are low, but the highs are high. And I'm back here right now. I got asked to audition for this job. So I did do an audition back in October, and I pulled out all the stops. I basically gave it everything I possibly could, and I didn't hear for a while, but I thought to myself, if it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. And then I bought an apartment in New York City, and I got a call saying that I was asked to come to Tampa. And I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's ride. And so that apartment is sitting empty in New York City, fingers crossed. And I am here. And I have been like, I'll end this little soliloquy I'm on right now, but I'm just so grateful to be here. I'm so happy that two very good things can happen at the same time. Gabby can have a baby and start a life as a mother and have this awesome experience, while at the same time I can do hockey again, and then she can come back when the regular season is over and other things happen. We won't talk too much about that right now, just because superstitions. But I'm just so grateful to be here, and having rode the roller coaster of the industry and having understood what it's like to be in this position and then not be in this position. I'm just, every single interview and every single game, I sound like a hockey player now, but like, I'm just so grateful to every shift I'm out there, every time, I take it one play at a time, and I'm just happy to be in the game.
So what I heard from that is, if we want to go to New York, we have an apartment to be in. That's what. By the way,
there's two, to be honest. Go ahead.
By the way, last night the Lightning did show a picture of Gabby's baby, right there, and welcomed her. It says, "Welcome to the roster, Ella Rose Witt, born January 7th, 2026. Congrats to Gabby Shirley and her husband Clay."
I love that.
Yeah, so the Lightning did put that up there last night at the game.
I hadn't realized, guys, this was the first home game that Gabby's baby had been born, because, and so many people were coming up to me at the rink, like, because there's been so many games on the road. Like, it's been just this crazy month. And so I had a bunch of people who work at the games just being like, oh, has she had her baby? Or like, when did she? And I was thinking, man, like, she had it a while ago, like, it feels. And then I'm thinking, like, wait, no, she was at the last home game, and she was going to go do the arrival interview, and then her water broke. Like, I don't know if that's like a public thing, but it is now. I am a reporter, team reporter. So, but she worked till the very last second that she could, until her baby was here. And so then that was that game. That was the last home game before the one that they just had last night. So,
and how lucky do you get filling in for that she got pregnant and had the baby this close to the Stadium Series, that you get to come in and now cover the Stadium Series. That's in 11 days.
But wait, does she? Because Stadium Series is kind of the NHL.
Oh, it's not, right? That's right.
So yes. Do you have any? Are you going to have an assignment for?
Well, I mean, what does covering really mean at this day and age? No, we're going to be. I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I know I'm allowed to come on this podcast. That's what I know. We're going to be doing like a pregame show, and I'll be doing some other stuff, but not for ESPN, but for the Lightning, and Scripps, the Spot will be doing a pregame show, and I'm super pumped. I've played in an outdoor game in LA before, like they had a media game, and I was very fortunate that, again, I apologize in advance if I seem to drop names, but like, this is just how my life has gone. When Luc Robitaille asked me to play in the game, and I'm like on a line with like Cuba Gooding Jr., and I remember being like, I'm obviously dead right now, because it's not real life. Like, and we're at Dodger Stadium, and we're on skates. Like, what? It was definitely, we were guinea pigs. So I saw what it was like, and I think that like the NHL has obviously done a lot of science and a lot of work to get like the ice right, to get everything right. Like, we've seen like Tahoe, we've seen everything, and I believe that this is like, I just see like, a chemist, like a crazy mad scientist, like, we're going to get it right. Like, this is how it's going to be. And I totally am very excited to see how much work they put into it. But like, everyone, they've said they put the most work into this outdoor game than ever before. And so I think these are, I mean, I'm just really grateful that this just sort of happened to be, I happened to get swept up in this incredible world of which is the Tampa Bay Lightning hockey, which includes the Stadium Series. So, and it's Gasparilla, which I've never been to before, and I'm learning a lot about.
I'm going to tell you the same thing Greg Wolf told Jake Getzel tonight, because Getzel said he's never been to it either, but he's got some buddies and family coming in town for the Stadium Series, so he is going to go check it out. Pace yourself. Greg Wolf did the great pace yourself, because it's a long day and you're going to see a little bit of everything and a lot of stuff you don't want to see.
Yep. I can imagine. That's what Pat Maroon said on the broadcast the other night. He was like, don't get too hungover. I was laughing. I'm like, I love that Patty is saying this on their broadcast right now. Just like, don't be too hungover. You don't want to like ruin the next day. Like, these are tips for people watching our broadcast. They're true. They're true. No lies detected. And I will say, I just expect, like, I'm living in downtown Tampa right now. So I'm expecting absolute chaos. And I love like I love the pomp and circumstance. I love themes. I love costumes. I love history. I'm going to go to the Tampa Museum before and just do a little research on all of this, because I would like to, like, know what's going on before I'm like, yay, dressed up in pirate gear with like an eye patch on. Like, I want to know. It's like St. Patrick's Day. Like, what's the history of this thing?
Yeah, you'll figure it out pretty quickly. It's Pirates in Tampa, and they've got a lot of alcohol with them. And Patty Maroon is the grand marshal of the parade this year.
Of course.
Which is just insane, because that guy's got to realize he's got to work the next day too, I'm sure. And I don't think he's going to hold back on drinking too many of those drinks, because remember, we had him here for 2 straight Stanley Cup wins. And he was sharing his drinks then during those boat parades, which was like,
just know, living in downtown, the Pirates will be capturing downtown here in the next week. So you will hear.
What does that mean? You're like, by the way, you're going to be held hostage. So
they come in and they actually steal the key to the city from the mayor. It happens every year.
When do they do that part?
It should be sometime next week. Before it's the same week as the invasion. So it should be coming in probably Monday, I would say, Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, there's usually all week stuff going on. The big parade.
They usually will do the cannons downtown, and a lot of people, they warn people downtown, hey, these aren't gunshots. These are for the Pirates coming and taking over Tampa. So
don't worry, guys. It's just the cannons and the Pirates, okay? Like,
the one tip I think I'll give you is, I don't know if you have a vehicle, but do not plan on driving anywhere on Saturday.
No.
And even like walking, because you might just walk down to Bayshore to go check out the parade area. It's just a sea of people. Like, it's a traffic jam of people to get over those bridges. So just be prepared for a ton of people. 75% of them are going to be wasted. So
like, I have a good idea in my mind of it, because I have put myself in these types of positions before. So I have navigated very big parties with lots of drunk people. So I kind of have, I mean, just for research, of course, I know what this is like a little bit. But I will say, you guys mentioned when you guys were talking about, like Pat Maroon, I just wanted to let you know, like, I remember him back. When he was with the Ducks, and that was before he was Patty Maroon, Grand Marshal of Gasparilla, 2-time Stanley Cup champion, 3-time Stanley Cup champion. Like, that guy is like, I don't even know. He's the ultimate. He did it guy, like the ultimate living the dream guy, I would say.
Yeah, no, we love him here. If you can drop our name, I know he knows about us, because we actually used to. So he had, I don't know if he still does Letty dressing, but he did like a shampoo and conditioner and hair gel. I actually have some right over here. And we helped promote it for him, but we've actually never had him on the show. Someday he's on the wish list with Espo too. So if you can drop them a line, let us know.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, I'm sure they're all pretty busy. So let's talk about this team. Like, you came in like in the middle of a huge winning streak. The point streak is still going on. I know since our last show, we kind of break up the season into weeks since we do the show weekly. But since our last show, we finally lost a game that we probably should have won, but we lost a shootout in overtime last Friday against the Blues. And before that, we really hadn't lost. I think the date was December 20th. So it's been quite a run for this team. And you probably know we had one of the worst starts in franchise history, definitely the worst start in Cooper's tenure here. But like, do you sense like a excitement in the room with what's going on with this team now? Or does it just seem like, you're covering a team like the Ducks back in the day? Is it different?
No, it's 100% different. It is, it's unique. It's really, first and foremost, what a great time to come in to cover this team. Already a championship caliber team with a winning culture, and then now add this sort of, this run that they've been on. And I hadn't been around for a loss until that shootout loss. And I remember I had so much anxiety in that shootout. And when Gage didn't score, I was like, and it was his birthday, I was like, no, I just knew it. I was like, they're not going to win. I was so invested. I was like, you cannot lose. I was like, no, like, I don't know how to deal with this team if they lose. And I'd never said that. Like, obviously, I'd never said that out loud before. But they were all actually in very good spirits when they lost, which I think was also, a hallmark of a good team is a sign of recovery. And they certainly recovered. And boom, bingo, bango, bongo. Nobody even remembers. Like, it's like point streak now. Like, like people are saying like, oh, the streak in Coop last night was like, didn't we lose? It's like, no, the point streak is still going, but yeah, you did lose that one game. But what Nick Paul was saying, and I kind of talked about it on the broadcast the other night, don't get that much time to go in depth in it, but he's like, this whole team is like, we're all in the same group. Like, there's no cliques, there's no little groups, everyone's together. Started with a lot of like bowling dinners, just like fun theme nights, but it's the guys and they're on the road. So being on the road has gotten them really close, right? Like that's a great way to just even get to know your colleagues, your teammates, whatever. But then they've made sure that all of their family members are close at home so that they, like when they're on the road, their family members, like say someone's like, oh, I'm lonely, or I want to watch the game, or I need somebody to help me with my kids. Like they know that they can call so-and-so, they can call whomever, they can have their own parties, they can do all this kind of stuff. And he said that, it's unique in the fact that he was like, I haven't really felt this particular feeling before. And DeAndre Lou was beside me when we were interviewing him. And it was like, we all got this weird sensation that it was like, oh, this is the key, right? Like the next step of a team is its identity, its culture, its room, and they have it, which is very difficult to have, to keep, to cultivate. And you get like kind of goosebumps even thinking about it, hearing them talk about this love that they have with each other. But then to that point, what I also love about it is that they do not they have a lot of fun making fun of each other. Because like I'll go in the room and I'll get interviews that I'll record on my phone that aren't on TV, but then I'll use the quotes in hits that I do. And like there's always guys razzing each other in the recordings. Like every single recording is someone. I was talking to Max Crozier about Dom James, and like Eric Chernak's just like, that guy sucks. Like he's obviously making a joke. Or like, Nick Paul, is razzing Gage about his haircut all the time. And Gage's like, we go to the same barber, and everyone's razzing each other. It's like this fun jousting that's going on. And then I wanted to tell this little bit, but like we'd interviewed Jake Gensel a few times, and it had actually started to be like kind of a lot, I guess, at that point, because it'd been one game, the first period against the Blues, where he was that period was not great, and he had a lot. He had like 2 decent chances, I think. So it was like, who do we talk to? Jake, I guess. And then the game against Dallas, I asked for him, because he scored the goal right before the intermission. And I was like, okay, Jake, because like I talked to Hags in the warm-ups, and it was kind of like, okay, like we try to spread it out a bit so you're not just talking to the same guys all the time. And then Jake was just kind of like, oh, like he didn't want to do the interview. And he came out and he told me afterwards, he was like, hey, don't sorry, I wasn't like mad at you or anything. And it was such a unique moment to have a player come out and be like, I'm so sorry that I made it seem like I didn't want to do the interview. I was like, oh, dude, I don't care. Like you could tell me to F off. Like, and I'm just doing my job. You're just doing your job. Like, we're just two dogs that are just hanging out. Like, we're not fighting or anything. And then Kucherov came out when Jake was like doing his cool down. He's like, hey, Jake, like the cameras are over there. You got to go over there. Like I realized it had become like a bit, that like they all knew that he didn't like to, or was, had got in a moment of like not wanting to do an interview. So those little things I think are just, I love seeing them. And I think that like, we're not like telling trade secrets or anything. It's just the guys all feel comfortable around each other. And that's it. That's the key.
How much of that do you think is from the coach? Cooper's been here forever, longest tenured coach in the NHL. Do you think like a lot of that is from his footprint on the team and how he kind of runs the show? Or do you think it's just like these guys just have chemistry?
I think it's 100% Cooper, because it's like you take the cues from the coach, right? Like, and that's what they've all talked about. It's just like the calm, confident demeanor. It doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, doesn't yell. And even when they were tied 2-2 against St. Louis, and like, he's always rocking out to Mr. Brightside, but he's on the bench and it's like a tight game. And it's like, it's going to go to overtime and he's jamming out to Mr. Brightside. And I just remember thinking like, okay, that right there, you take as a player, you're not gripping your stick too hard. You're going to be out there. You're going to be loose because your coach is loose, because it's kind of like I don't know, it's like a kid looking at their parent in a way, or like, I think to use a dog analogy again, it's like dogs can sense a lot of different things with people and how they act. And if you're skittish around a dog, like it's going to feel weird. Right. So, I think that's just, that it's an overall vibe from him down. And that, I mean, you could put that up against any other team. Like, it's not like, that's the variable that is different with this team, is the fact that that's the type of coach you have, and that coach doesn't exist anywhere else in the NHL. And that's why this team is different from every other team in the NHL.
Today, I don't want to give away too much of the block party, but Jake Getzel was asked about Coop today, and compared, and he said that Coop is just an amazing coach and can read any room and adjust to any room he is in. And that he is such a great coach and knows how to speak to them. And another thing he said, and we had talked about this a couple times, I really think this team is doing so good because it's so mixed with so many veterans and so many young ones. And Gensel, who they brought up, was the leading scorer in the playoffs his rookie year in Pittsburgh, and he wins the Stanley Cup. And he says, he had leadership from Crosby, Malkin, and Letang, and now he's part of that guys that are helping with the younger guys. It's him, Cooch, and all these veterans. When you have a team full of all veterans, you're not really teaching too much, although he does say that Cooch does teach him many things still. But when you have these younger guys and there's these players that look up to them who they've seen play before and actually helping them, you could have another Gensel who ends up being your scoring champion in the playoffs and everything else, like Gensel was back his first year.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And I think that you have those veterans, and then you also have the whole system that the Lightning have, right, with Syracuse. And that's why you see so many guys come up and do well. Like with Chucky coming up doing well. We just were mentioning Dom James, like, Declan Carlisle as well. There's so many guys that have come up, and it's because they know this is the exact same system that they're playing. And that is already like 500 steps ahead of so many other teams that don't play the same way. Like they can kind of come in and there's not as many hurdles to have to learn to adjust to, because you're playing the same system. So then you immediately have that kind of confidence. So like I think that's why when you mentioned you could see a guy have like a pop off in a year, because they're given such a great environment to do so. And when you look down this lineup, like there's just so much quality on every line. It's not like when you look at some teams and you look at some lineups and you're like, oh my Lord, like they can barely string together 2 lines. Like this line has like
The Sharks.
yeah, like sometimes, I grew up in a city that has not seen a lot of happiness outside of, inside of hockey. That's Toronto, and so like sometimes I look at, I looked at their lineup at the beginning of the season, and I was like, what is that an NHL lineup? Um, and I can make fun of them because they're the Toronto Maple Leafs and it's easy to make fun of them. But this one is a team where it's like you see them and it's like, especially we talk, everyone talks about the Yanni Gourde line. It's like, I love energy lines, but then it's like, you seeing guys come in, as you mentioned, oh man, like Nick Paul I called him, I said, are you the like, I'll figure it out guy? And he laughed. He's like, yeah, I am. Like, I'm kind of just thrown into any situation and like, I'll figure it out. Right. And so I love that about this team and about guys like him.
Yeah, when you've got Nick Paul and some other like veterans from the NHL playing on the 4th line,
yeah.
It's like, whoa, okay, this team's deep. And it wasn't like that the last couple seasons when we've had these first round exits. So, I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to JBB for bringing in these guys. Like Dominic James was in Chicago's system and we like picked him up right before the season started and said, hey, we're going to give you a chance. And, finding a DeSuze out there, getting a Holmberg from Toronto.
Yeah, there we go. Like Island of Misfit Toys. They don't work over there, but you bring him over here and boom, he's already passed his career high in goals.
Have you gotten to spend any time talking to JBB?
Yeah, well, I was at the meeting that they had that was
fireside chat type of thing.
The fireside chat, which was great. I mean, that transparency and the openness for us to really ask any question we wanted to was remarkable. And I was interested in that at that time because of the timing with Team Canada, because I asked them a question like, so when you're in the room and you're trying to figure out Team Canada and you're all sort of, I said, is it kind of like a jury where you're deliberating? And he was immediate to say, and I kind of like, I know it's not a jury because it's not one thing or the other. But he was like, yeah, it's not a jury because it's not, guilty, non-guilty, or a plaintiff, defendant. It's like 8 different things. He's like, imagine like people are in there and they're trying to, like, you do have to vocalize why you think a player should be on the team, why you don't think a player should be on the team. And he was like, you do have to have good arguments, right? So like, think about that. JBB, John Cooper, probably pretty good guys to have very good arguments. Whether that is for or against whomever should be on that team, that they're going to come with just like an incredible hockey mind, incredible hockey IQ, but a way to convey their thoughts and opinions to others that makes sense for why a guy should or shouldn't be there. And I think that communication is, paramount. But JBB keeps impressing me every single time I see him, I meet him, I talk to him. And I'm personally like, oh my gosh, I need to be a better person whenever I see him, because he's like very, like, he is the epitome of like success. So that's great to have that as your general manager. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, it all starts at the top. And I'll tell you have a tough job because you've got, like, first of all, hockey players, let's be honest, not the easiest to interview. And not all of them, right? Like some of them are a little bit chatty, but I'd say most are. It's tough to really get like, a good sound bite out of them. And, you haven't even really had the chance, like at least on game days, to deal with, the captain. Victor Hedman's been out. I know he's been
I haven't even.
So he's a really good one, but the other one's McDonough. Like Eric Erlandson was telling us, like McDonough's great. Like he's just a great soundbite machine and great to talk to. Yeah. So you haven't even really got to experience these guys.
Well, I will say, sorry to interrupt, but I did, when I was with TNT, I did talk with Hedman, but all my pictures are of me with a mask. It's really, really jarring to see it. So I'm like, I can't really be like throwback, like, but and talking to McDonough, and I also covered the Rangers in the Stanley Cup in 2014. So I've like, and when he was with the Rangers too. So seeing that whole transition, because I'm old like them, right? So like I've been around. That's what I'll say is like my age helps because I have covered those guys when before this, but I haven't this year. I think it's just going to be interesting to see when they are back what happens.
Yeah, we were hoping you would tell us what's going to happen.
Yeah, like if even if I knew, I mean, I don't know. I think it's a great problem to have, but it's definitely something it's a great problem to have. But I also do believe that the Olympics is going to be something that we probably don't. We have no idea what kind of impact it's going to have yet on all teams, right? And so I think that adds like a whole. It's really great the Lightning are on the streak right now, and Coop has said it so many times. Like we have to have this streak because everyone is winning in the East. Like you look at the standings, it's like what won how many straight, 11 straight, whatever. It's like it doesn't even matter because everyone is winning every single night. That being said, I mean, we saw what happened after. Not really what happened, but like Four Nations. Nothing really like you don't really learn anything from that other than that was maybe guys get confidence or whatnot, that kind of thing. But I'd say, and maybe some guys got injured, but like, I mean, the Olympics is something that will be unlike anything else. And I'm going to that too. So I'm a little stressed right now with like planning a pirate outfit and then also like doing my onboarding for like going to Milan and like, all that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over here.
Will we?
I'm going to Jacksonville.
Oh yeah,
hey,
Harrison, the Milan of Florida.
Yeah.
So will we see you on any American broadcasts covering the Olympics?
I mean, if you do, someone has made a horrible mistake. I am covering for CBC, but you'll see stuff social. I'll be doing a lot of social stuff. So I am going to be covering Coop and, all those guys from Team Canada. So that's a nice sort of connection to the Lightning side of things. And then also all the other, I mean, there's so many Olympians. I have tons of stories that I can't wait to tell in some of these different broadcasts coming up. One on JJ Moser in particular, which I've been trying to get into the broadcast for the last 5 games. But it's a great story. And so they all have unique stories. And I just love that this team is so international because, and within that, they all have such cool stories within being a part of those teams, right? Like, gosh, the United Nations on this team, they don't, it doesn't feel like they're from all over the world. But then when you see all the flags and you see the countries, you're like, oh my gosh, wow, these guys have got some great stories and interesting upbringings and backgrounds, and I love that about the guys. So
yeah, so many things that you can cover and stories to uncover. I have a special assignment for you that you're probably going to think is impossible and probably is impossible. We need more Nikita Kucherov interviews. I know they barely came out there.
Okay,
but and I can only imagine like what goes on inside your head when it's like, all right, I gotta interview Nikita Kucherov, and then I got to go do John Cooper. You probably haven't had that happen yet, but just like the balance of trying to get Cooch to say something and then trying to like translate like the answer that John Cooper gives you that blows your mind, That's a challenge, but yeah, we love the Cooch sound bites. Obviously, we're homers, all us Lightning fans, and like we love whenever they make him go and do an interview. So you gotta get one or two.
Well, I mean, okay, I'm gonna just stop you there. What I've learned, so right, I'm the new person right on the broadcast, and in everything. So everyone is already shook that there's a new person. Like it's just like, oh my God, what? Obviously everyone misses Gabby, and she's an incredible reporter, and the team misses her a lot. And then they're like, who is this Julie Stewart-Binks? Why does she have a hyphen in between two of her last whatever? And so I come in and I'm just like doing the job the way I think I should do it. And then that's not the way though that it's been done, right? So sometimes that's been a learning experience, like just the little nuances of that, or like I'm much more of a weirdo, much more of like a quirky person than Gabby, and me and her have discussed that. Because I really wanted to do all these TikToks with her before, and she was like, no. She's much more professional and mature, and that's why she's a mom, and that's why I'm not. And so, there's just different energy, I guess you'd say. So I haven't been in the trenches with everyone for all this time. So I think that there is a positive to that, in that, like, I don't feel scared, and this will come back and backfire on me, and I'll get like, I don't know what, but I don't feel scared to go ask Nikita Kucherov for an interview. Like, my job, like, I don't feel scared to go sit down beside him in a stall and just say, hey, like, buddy, like, I'm Julie, I'm a new person here, blah, blah, blah. Just talk to him, And I think that, he could just be like, go walk away from me, and it'd be like, all right, I tried. But I think there's more of there's less of like a desire to be like, yeah, you don't do that. Like, don't do that, because he's probably not going to talk to you. And it's like, but what if he does? Like, when I was with the Rangers, when I say with the Rangers, when I was in New York, like, so Artemi Panarin never talks on camera. But sometimes he does. And when you are someone that holds a microphone, like I remember just like, I'd put the mic in and he'd be like, no. And I'd be like, take it right out. But then like, the one time he doesn't say take it out is the one time he'll talk, and then people will be like, your boss will be like, what, you were there and you didn't get the mic in to talk to Panarin? And you're like, but he normally never does it. So you just like never know. Something could change, and sometimes you just got to like shoot your shot, honestly. And it depends on how the guy's feeling that day. It's amazing. Sometimes you can, like, after the loss, I was so scared because, again, I had never experienced a loss. I was like, oh gosh, I was like, please, everything be okay. Oh my God. They couldn't have been easier to talk to. And it was just me. I was the only person there. And I had my 2 microphones, which, like, just as like pulling back the curtain a little bit, like, people normally hold them in one hand, 2 mics. Like, if you have to, like the Tampa one and then the Scripps one. But I hold them in both hands. Like, I'm like one of those airplane people that's like signaling. So Oliver Bjorkstrand was like I'm interviewing, and I'd be like, all right, so, blah, blah, blah. What was, you guys came back, da, 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 da. And then like ask him, and I'm like, and the power play clicking, like, you're in the bumper, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, it's so weird watching you interview with the 2 hands. For anyone watching, it is really weird. So, yeah, that's another little experience of someone doing the job a little bit different. But then the players, when you kind of like get them out of their normal routine, they're like a little bit more, I don't know, they're kind of, they get out of their own cliches and own stereotype, like the way they do their job as well, right? So the energy is a bit different, and every team can use things that can kind of shake things up, and then they figure it out. So
we also know we've gotten the opportunity to be in the press box last season and then go down for the after game interview. So we also know, for a little bit of pull back the curtain, you don't get to pick your interviews.
Yeah.
The team picks which players are coming out. You guys get to pick one or two, don't you, that right off the ice and stuff like that. But when the fans see those interviews that all the reporters, Eric Erelson, Jay Retcher, and
Deandra,
and
okay.
Yeah.
Deandra, Ed, all them. You walk into the locker room, and Brian Breesman has the 3 players that are going to come out listed behind, and then one player comes out, does a few questions, goes back in, and then they're like, and here's Nick Paul. And then he walks in, and then you go across the hall and you go into the room and you sit down, and then all of a sudden, head coach John Cooper. And then he comes up to that desk that everybody sees, and there's like a chair of like 40 seats in there. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes you don't actually get to pick who you're interviewing. But so we've been there and done that. So we get it.
Hold on. We've been there, and luckily we've had the opportunity to do this. Maybe we'll see you sometime this season. But ask Thomas how many questions we've had the cojones to ask on our 5 or 6 times down there.
None. 0.
We're not professional.
No, but that's okay. I'd say that I would like that's fine by me. But by not, you don't have to do that. And I think that there's like, especially when you're down there for some of your first time, all that, like, again, conceding to a lot of like the New York royalty. Rest in peace, Larry Brooks, Brooksy. I'd always like let him go first, all that. But when I came here and I was like, everyone told me like, you asked the first question. I was like, damn right, I asked the first question. Like, I'm going to. I'm not scared. And that's like Coop in the first interview press conference. I was asking the second question, and he was like, "Wow, coming in hot on your first day." And I was like,
First
"Well,
day.
yeah." I was like, "Well, yeah. Like, this is this not the assignment that I freaking flew all the way from New York and left everything for? Like, I don't know." I was like, "I'm not supposed to ask questions for this job. This is it." But I'd say one funny nuance of the job. So on the road, we get to pick. I'll pick like who I want as the walk off, especially if it's like an overtime winner, shootout winner, whatever. And it's always been like great vibes. And then, but at home, it's always the first star, and it's never Kucherov. Will never do it if he's the first star. But the funny part is like say for instance, last night I interview Hagel on the bench, and then we go in the locker room, and then we interview Brandon Hagel again, and it's me asking the first question, and it's kind of one of those like you bump into someone again. It's like, it's funny to see you here now again. So, and then I just asked him a different question, like, which was last night was like, when you and Jake were kind of passing the puck back and forth with that empty net, what were you thinking? And he was like, I was thinking, I knew it wasn't going to be a hat trick, but like, he's like, I don't know if like Jake knew that, like,
They did talk about that. Yeah, well, if you were in your seat during the intermission, they did announce during the intermission of the score change. But they did ask Jake about that today on the block party, and they said how unselfish he was to give it back to Hagel. And then Hagel gave it back to him, and then he gave him a look like, listen, motherfucker, don't send this. Don't give me this back. They said, you even looked like you were curving to the corner so that he couldn't give it back to you.
Yeah.
And he's like, yep. He's like, absolutely.
I bet in the back of his mind, he's like, if I score this goal, half these people are going to think it's a hat trick and start throwing their hats. I was one of them. I was too far to throw my hat.
Okay.
But you know what they do, Julie, is they do a massive, really great sale on hats when they get home hat tricks. And honestly, it never happens, right? Like we usually get one a year. We got Gensel earlier this year. I bought half the hats in this team store. But like not just me, everyone's running down to the team store, and the poor people at the team store are like announcing it wasn't a hat trick.
Yeah. I know.
And there's just this gasp of people are like with their new hats in their hand, and they're like, am I going to pay $40 for this hat?
I should split the difference in that situation. It was like, yeah, we were all a little bit confused,
Yeah, it would have been a smart move. Let's play a game. You're not getting out of here without playing a shooter game. We've got an easy one for you. We've had some really tough ones in the last couple weeks, and I've been having people go head to head with Schooley, and they're all beating him. So I got to give him a break. And we're going to do this game with you. And I think you're going to do really good at this because you know your NHL.
Ways to just instantly make me go in under those expectations.
There's no wrong answer.
Okay, great. I love these kinds of questions.
You could like piss off some Lightning fans, but
nope, not doing that.
so this is
it's fun, Julie. I do it all the time. Go ahead.
Instead of overrated, underrated, we're doing this or that. So I will give you two options, and you will tell me what is JSB. Can we call you JSB?
Yeah, sure.
That's your Twitter, right? Like it's at JSB numbers
_TV. But on TikTok it's JSB. Yeah, you know me. So that's what it kind of feels like. That flows more. Also, I realized when we talked about JBB, I should tell him my nickname is JSB. That will be my next line to start a conversation. I'll be like, hey, we kind of have the same thing going on. And he'll be like, great. No, we don't.
That's funny because we had Nigel Kerwin on here one time, and when we said JBB, he's like, who's JBB? And so I said, it's Julian, and he goes, really? That's what people are calling him? He's like, wait, now it's everywhere. But
Yeah.
originally, when he first started with the team, nobody called him JBB except for the rest of us because we couldn't get Breeze Ball out, so it quickly became a JBB thing, and now it's been rolled with. But it was the Tampa fans that named him JBB.
I like hearing that lore.
All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let me see if I need sound effects. No, we don't need sound effects for this. All right. We talked a little bit about the Olympics coming up a couple weeks. Last year, we had our Four Nations tournament. So the question is, moving forward, because, the Olympics is always up in the air with, the player agreement and whatnot. Olympics or moving forward with a NHL best on best similar to the Four Nations moving forward?
Oh, way to just put a very controversial question out there. No, I would say let's do both.
Ooh, okay.
Because nothing will replace the Olympics.
Yeah, and you only got it every few
4 years.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I say Olympics if every country is allowed to participate.
School.
Yeah, and that's if something else happens in the interim, I think.
Yeah. I'd love to see our Russian guys in the Olympics.
Yeah, they would smoke everyone else. Like,
well, you're Canadian. You're really going to say that Russia would
look at some of the teams. Some of the projected Team Russia lineups. It's like, oh wow, yeah, that's just some random person putting that out on Instagram, and it's like
20-1. It would look like a lopsided all-star game.
Vazzy, definitely.
Yeah, the goalies would be crazy.
Bobrovsky.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about goalie fights yet on this episode, which is ridiculous. We had the first one in like 4 years. All right, let's keep it going. Biggest threat to the Bolts in their division. We'll start with Red Wings or Canadians, who they're right behind them.
I think the Habs maybe, but I'm not really sold on. Yeah, Habs.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to the next two then. Panthers or Leafs?
Oh, like as in opponents?
The biggest threat in the division.
And threat as in
those two.
Oh, I mean, like, I say Panthers because I think this rivalry has just gone to a whole new level just this year. And I think I don't think it's stopping. So I think that's their biggest threat, even though are they lower in the standings in the league? Everyone's everyone's log jammed, but yeah, I think that they are. I don't really put a whole lot.
Okay, so I think I know what you're going to say then. Let's narrow it down to Panthers or Montreal Canadiens. Biggest threat to the Lightning to displace them in first place.
I think it's going to be the Panthers are not great right now. Like, I guess I would say them still just because of their pedigree and the people they have on the team and because of this crazy rivalry between them. To displace them, I still think Tampa wins both of those fights, but I still think that, like, I just keep seeing Brad Marchand's like face when I'm just thinking of this, and I think, yeah, that guy's gonna still haunt a lot of people's nightmares for a while, more so than anyone on the Habs. So I'll say Florida.
A bit of a pest, that guy.
Yeah, but I'm glad he's on Team Canada.
We won't go with USA for Canada, this or that. We'll skip that question. And by the way, I don't want to speak for all of Bolts Nation, but if you end up going to get a job in South Florida to cover the Panthers, you're dead to us. Just there's probably no other team that we would say that.
Oh, honey, I ain't going to South Florida to cover the Panthers. Don't worry. Okay, you mark my words.
All right, this one's gonna be tough for you. As a proud Canadian, McKinnon or McDavid?
I think McKinnon. I just think his overall game, I would pick him. I like his defensive game big time, even though the Bolts absolutely silenced him. I think he's got a lot of dimensions to it.
They also silenced the next one I'm going to give you. Celebrini was in town last night, but this is a pretty good one for Team Canada. Celebrini or Bedard?
Celebrini all day, every day. Any interview I've ever done with other people about him is like, oh gosh, I really would love to be a hockey player playing with Celebrini, because they all talk about how he is such a goofball kind of weirdo in the room. And like Tyler Toffoli told me that. He's like, he'll say something weird to me before we're going out for like the third period or like overtime. And he'll be like, bro, like, get it together. And then he'll go out there and score the game winner. And it's like, this guy has the ability to be so fun and loose and different and cool. And Coop even mentioned that in the last night in the post game stuff about him, just like what an incredible person he is. Like incredible in the sense that like he's a vibes guy. Like you want to be around him, and you kind of don't see that, right? He looks quiet and like he's like a kid. He's 19, but he's also so good at. I mean, obviously he's elite player, elite puck battles, so good around the net. Like it's just, I mean, again though he was held off the score sheet, so. How elite is he really? But yeah, I'd pick him over Bedard.
He did
the videos of him and Will Smith.
I know. They were great.
They're just such besties, and they're so great. And then just to answer that real quick, Shooter, which one made Team Canada and which one is sitting at home for the Olympics?
Well, is that like just a layup for me? It was like, did I read the roster? Like, Celebrini made it and Bedard didn't.
Bedard sure did it.
Bedard's not on that team. And he had that injury. I know he's back now, so I don't know how. Ask Coop how much that.
And hardest question here: do you know which one is on Team Canada going to the Olympics, of which you will be covering?
I was just telling him that you can tell which one's better and which one isn't. Okay. One made the Olympics, the other one did not.
Listen, you want me to make this harder? We can make it harder. Now it gets harder. Coaches challenges or adopting like a full-time video review system where they call down and review questionable calls and rules.
Oh, so like a VAR situation or coaches calls? Coaches calls.
Okay. What about advanced hockey analytics or the old experience in coaches' intuition?
No, I like the analytics better. Because I think you can get like, it's like that movie Trouble with the Curve, right? You can, and I've been in scouting rooms before. I worked with the Bruins and I've seen how they talk about different people, players, and there's just a lot of subjective bias that gets in there. And then that's just no one's fault. That's just how the human brain is wired. So I think you have to have advanced analytics in there.
Yeah. Wasn't it Wall who just during that interview said, screw analytics? I think it was Wall for the Islanders in an interview the other day about pulling the goalie early. They asked if that was analytics or if that was his call, and he was like, screw analytics. I'm playing old school hockey style.
And it can work.
By the way, I want to do a little break in for a little We the Thunder commercial. So, Julie, you don't know this, but you are the first of hopefully 2 confirmed, you being one of them, women in hockey that are going to be on the show the next 3 weeks. So you kick it off. Next week we have Casey Hudson, who used to cover the Lightning and now she's covering Boston. So she's going to come on and tell us about like what to expect from the Bruins, because we haven't really played them yet. And then I'm hoping, she didn't confirm yet, but I've been talking this year with Megan from Stathletes. I think that's Stathletes, right? Because she's on TV in Canada all the time. And she runs that company with the advanced analytics and everything. So I'm hoping she's going to be the third one on our first show in February. So we've got we always wanted to make sure we had women involved in this, because we know a lot of awesome women Lightning fans listen to this show. So that's good. We love an ally. We all are in this together. So, appreciate you guys using your platform to help feature women on there, because there's a lot of really hardworking women that you just mentioned right there, and so many more. So, and also shout out to all the fans, but shout out to all the ladies as well, because girl power. All right,
Joyce tonight at the block party. Joyce had a shirt on today. One of our friends, Joyce, that says, "Don't mansplain hockey to me."
Good. That's a great shirt.
Yeah. So, and we've had,
perfect.
I think This season, I think we've had more females as guests than we have had males because we always start the year with Sonia. We've had Paris on. I think this season's going to be more females than male guests.
Let's go. The way it should be. Thanks, guys.
All right, back to the tough questions here. Bolts Nashville Stadium Series jerseys or the current Stadium Series in Tampa jerseys. And hold on, I got them both right here in case you need a reminder. And for everyone watching, we are giving away one of these, but here is this year's. I can't see. And then here is the Stadium Series from Nashville with the bolts across the chest. What is your fave?
I was also at that one in Nashville. I just went by myself, bought a ticket, had a great time. I was so cold though, so cold. I don't know. They both look pretty similar. Not gonna lie. Let's go with this. Let's go with the Stadium Series one that's coming up.
The new one.
That's the new one. That's the correct answer.
And I will put in the chat if anyone wants to enter our contest. Next week, we will announce a winner for that. And too bad you didn't know us back then for Nashville because we had a massive party on Friday night on Broadway for this little get together.
I miss that. Would have been nicer to have been there with people that weren't just me.
Oh, we filled the barn. Eric Eraldson and Jay Retcher came up.
Yeah.
And we had the whole upstairs at Dirty Bastards.
Lucky Bastards.
Lucky Bastards.
that was later.
And then they started going downstairs too. It was a great time in Nashville.
Awesome.
That was awesome.
That's what I said. I hate hosting it because we're not going to have those kinds of things here in Tampa. It was so much better. I'm glad we're getting this, and it's going to be a great time. But I want to do all these away again because I love that going to Nashville, seeing the players on the street, seeing them in the bars afterwards. Like that, to me, that made it that much funner. Where now the players live here, so they're just going to be going home.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a home game versus being on the road. Yeah, I get that.
All right, continuing on, tough questions here. Winter Classic or Stadium Series?
I mean, Winter Classic, I think you got to go with because it's just that was like the original idea of like the outdoor hockey, the iconic sort of outdoor rink like kids grew up playing on, I grew up playing on. Some of them haven't been like that recently, but I did go to the Big House for Red Wings and Leafs. That was snowy. That was great. I do like the ones that get cold and snowy. I just feel like that's the winter aspect of it, not necessarily like in a baseball stadium one. I'm not talking about anything in particular, but I'm just like making a random reference.
Are you okay with like 75 degrees for your stadium?
Yeah.
Series?
Yeah.
That's probably what we're going to have.
I am. But it has been cold in Tampa. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
it has been a lot colder than advertised when I was like, I'm going to Florida. And everyone's like, wow, Julie, that's so cool. It's going to be amazing and hot. And now I'm like, why am I wearing my winter coat? Not today. It was nice today.
The weather report that came out today says low of 38, high of 57 that day.
Heck no. I want it warmer.
I needed it a little warmer for myself. Yeah.
No. Oh, I love it. Listen, in Nashville, I had hot hands, places you probably should never put hot hands.
You can put them everywhere. Yeah.
I did. I did.
All right. A couple more here. 3-on-3 overtime like they do it today, or should they figure out how to change this overtime up or extend it or something?
Yeah, my Nate Thompson and I, a former Bolt, obviously, we had a podcast called Energy Line, and we talked about this. Like, yeah, I mean, probably find some way to figure it out because, like, the whole regrouping in the overtime just slows it. It's just, I don't know. Probably find another way. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, it started so hot, and actually we won the first 3-on-3 overtime game, Jason Garrison, Tampa Bay Lightning. Figure what year that was. But it's kind of turned into like this whole possession game, right? Where they bring it back across the blue line, and like sometimes it's really exciting, and sometimes it's like, all right, this is kind of boring with all this possession. All right, next one. Coolest new team name: Kraken or Mammoth?
Oh, I think the Kraken. I think just because it's like release the Kraken, I just think that idea is cooler than like Mammoth. Because also I've just, as somebody who doesn't, I mean, just I still think of them as Utah Hockey Club a lot of the time. So I'm like, oh right, the Mammoth. Like, oh, remember that that's not their name anymore. But yeah, I think Utah in general, it's cool. But I like Kraken better.
All right. Two more. Current playoff format with the wild card, or
no, not the wild card. We go back.
Why do we keep playing this game with these wild cards? Everybody wants 1 through 8. Can you make a call?
Yeah, I mean, no, I can make a call. I don't think it'll be picked up. That's certainly for sure. They'll be like, "It's Julie calling again." Gosh, no, yeah, I think that there's a lot of people that would feel that at this point, especially the way things are, it's like, man, just a 1 through 8 would be great. 1 through 8 would be great.
By the way, that was asked to Jake Getzel tonight, and he agrees that he wants to go back to the 1 and 8. And he said how some rivalries you won't see that, but he compared the top 3 teams in the Western with Colorado, Minnesota, and Dallas, and 2 of them are going to be out in the first round.
I know, this is absolutely banana sandwich. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Last one. NHL expansion, or do you think we're just fine as is?
I would say we'd be fine as is, but I do know the people of Quebec are really hammering for some action.
Atlanta first.
And the people of Atlanta are also clamoring for action. But those people in Quebec,
all right,
I know because I've grown up with those French Canadian people clamoring all the time. That I was going to throw that back to what was it they wanted to separate from Canada joke, but that would be a deep cut that would really not work and not land, obviously. So yeah, I think they're going to expand. I mean, you can't not, right? It's like no one's fine as is. It's like, hey, could we do something different to our house? It's fine as is. But you're like, why not we just change things around a little bit, right?
Well, Atlanta's already building a stadium. Atlanta is supposedly already paying, that's
well, you have to have it, right? For them to be like, okay.
And that's why Bettman came out and said how much the new price tag would be for a franchise. But I believe the 2 first ones will be Houston and Atlanta. And he's already said you got to announce 2. You can't do just one again. It's going to have to be in pairs. So I think it's going to be Houston and Atlanta will be next.
That seems like a lot.
I dislike the expansion draft already, and if you're going to make me do 2,
it's a lot.
I will really dislike it. All right. Hey, we have overextended you way past.
I would say that is correct.
Yeah,
that is correct. No, but it's been great.
If you find us at Gasparilla, Schooley's full pirate gear, he'll buy you a drink or a soda pop.
Yes, that'd be great.
Seriously, thank you so much. It's been cool to kind of see and hear another voice on the TV. And hopefully maybe we'll bump shoulders with you if we go up there sometime this year, but you've done a great job. Looking forward to seeing what else you got for us, and have a great time covering, I guess you're covering more Canada, huh? Up over in Italy.
Yeah, but it's like, yes, I am covering Canada, but I mean, they have to like compete against other nations, right?
Yeah.
So, and also stories come out that are great. Like that's what I love about working with CBC. It's just like if there's a great story, we cover it, and that's what's awesome. It doesn't matter what country they're from or whatever. Just good story. We want people to know about it. Especially, those are the great gems of the Olympics where you're just like, hey, I had no idea that like that woman was 9 months pregnant and she won that archery, gold in this. And you're like, from what, like all these crazy things from around the world. It's really quite amazing. That's what I love about the Olympics. It's just people doing incredible things, and maybe they reach their dreams and maybe they don't, but we can all relate to it because we've all had a dream and maybe we've gotten it or maybe we haven't or we've had to adjust. And I just love how it can connect to people at home. So that's like my biggest love with the Olympics. But I will want to say thank you so much for having me on, for letting me get to know you guys, letting me get to know some more of the fans. And don't worry, guys, Gabby will be back. So just remember, I'm a short-term rental, and then I am out of here. You can just kick me right out. But that's the one nice thing about being like the new person is like, don't worry, I'll be gone.
You're like the substitute teacher.
Just so you know, it's not. There's some people out there that wouldn't mind you staying.
Only if they keep this like point streak up. I'm sure it'll be like they won't let me leave.
I've been getting some messages while we've been on, and that's why I've been looking down at my phone about how they like you here.
Oh, wow.
So
thank you guys. I mean,
any messages about my bandana?
No.
I think it's cool. What, it's got like a dodgeball vibe to it.
Yeah.
So let's go.
I know you're too young to know who Olivia Newton-John and
I am way too young to know who Olivia Newton-John is. I appreciate you guys reminding everyone how young I am to not know that. No, but and also I saw one of the comments from Jason who said you should ask questions in the scrum, and you should, and don't let people scare you from asking questions. I should have said that, and that's what.
No, but actually, it's crazy how much help, like, because we've had a lot of those media folks on the show, so they know us, so like they like took us under their wing and they like showed us where to go and all that stuff. So I think we next time we're down.
The first time we actually started walking to the locker room, and then they're like, "No, it's the other way. You gotta go get on the elevator over there and go up." And we're like, "Oh,
it's a confusing building." That's don't worry. I'm still learning all these different things too. So.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll see you around. If not, we'll see you on the TV. Great job with the coverage. Everyone, make sure you go follow JSB out there. It's JSB_TV on Twitter. And JSB, yeah, you know me. Is that right?
On TikTok, but I'm more of an Instagram gal, so that's also different. It's a branding error on my part, but it's Julie SB_ as my Instagram. That's more that's more my safe space. But I like TikTok a lot too.
Yeah, we'll find you.
Yeah, you'll find me. I have like a video I made that was to Billy Madison, like in a Tampa Bay jersey. You may or may not have seen this. I made it in 2021 when they went back to the Stanley Cup, and it was like Billy going back to school, and I made it when I was at Ryan Kessler's house for this thing we did, and one of the on the bench guys was there, Oli Pokanen, and so we did a whole video to it. So it was perfect that I had this video of me wearing this Tampa jersey. That's how I kind of like said, yes, I will be going back to Rinkside Reporting.
I have not seen that, but we're digging that one.
I'll send it to you.
Right on. Well, hey, thank you so much again. We owe you one for hanging out with us so long. But I told you, it goes by fast when you're having fun and talking hockey. So thank you again. Looking forward to the scoops and seeing you on TV and the Olympic stories. And we hope you really enjoy your time here in Tampa. It's a great place to cover hockey, that's for sure.
I appreciate it. And thanks, everyone, for listening.
All right. Thank you, Julie. We'll give her one more strike.
That's it?
Oh, that's not the right button. Strike. Thank you, Julie. JSB, Julie Stewart-Binks. We'll see you on TV. All right, Schoolie, you and I have some business to attend to. You were on the jumbo. You were pulling your own JSB last night, but answering questions instead. So, no, I saw your comment, Jody. I did not hit my head. Although now that you say that, it looks like I did, and it's wrapped up. I should have put like a ketchup stain right here. When I wear this for hockey, I don't wear the white one. That's why this one's so fresh and clean, because I usually wear like black or gray or blue.
He took that from his daughter. She's going to come in after the show.
I have a whole pack of these. Steven knows. It's not stick tape. All right. So what else do we want to talk about? We want to talk about your amazing appearance. So So hold on. At this point, I'm trying to get, look, you on the Jumbotron. I'm right in front of you. Are you nervous at this? Or are you just like, I'm a professional podcaster basically at this point, and I know Lightning trivia. Are you nervous at this point?
I am nervous. Number one, because Greg was like, "Don't fuck this up, Schoolie," and then also just being on the Jumbotron, and I was told so. I got told I was going to be doing its BFL Boat for Life trivia. So I was told by my rep that I was picked for the BFL trivia and that Blue Crew was going to contact me. So Blue Crew texted me and Rob was sitting with me. Shooter was sitting with me last night. And the text said, "We're going to come during second intermission. Please make sure you're in your seat by second intermission." And I said to Shooter, I was like, "They do it during intermission?" Like, and he's like, "No, they're just going to take you down there." I said, "Yeah, but they're not going to have us sit there for 20 minutes. So first intermission, right before first intermission, I always run to the bathroom. So, because you guys know the lines there, Shooter goes out usually to the beer garden, and I come back from the bathroom. I'm sitting in my seat and I get a text that says, let me know when you're back at your seat." And I'm like, I'm at my seat. And then I look around and I see the Blue Crew down at the other end of my aisle. And so I like raise my hand. And so he comes over and Shooter's like, "Well, I'm going to go with you." And then, but Shooter's not back from being outside. So he's like, "Are you waiting for someone?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, I'll go jump on the pole and start waving the flag until your other person gets here." So I'm calling Shooter like, "Where are you? Come on, they're coming and taking me now." So that's when the nerves start hitting, is when, because I thought we were going to have a whole nother period before this.
And didn't we score like 1 or 2 goals on the way down there to the second floor? And then so he goes out at the Channel Club because they bring us through the Channel Club to get to the other side. And he goes out and starts waving the flag. And I'm like, "Hold on." And I start going to grab food. I was hungry. I didn't eat anything. So when in Rome, Thomas, and you're calling me over as I'm eyeballing that pizza. I'm like, "Pizza,
he's coming down off the pole. Get over here."
And then we got to go to the Greg Wolf section, the Lightning Vision section, where they've been camping out since COVID, basically. And then we're waiting there till we were like right at the 10-minute mark, right?
The first commercial after the 10-minute, they did the first commercial was the military salute, which they were nice enough to sit us in the seats right below where the control desk is, where the Franzone does his magic from, where Paul Porter is, where Greg stands, all that. They sat us down in the leather seats that Shooter got cold ass from.
They're cold leather seats. I shouldn't have worn my thong to the game. And then as we kind of go to the section and Greg sees us, because Greg was on the show like 2 weeks ago, he's like, "Oh, what is this?"
Well, I hear him say, "When Schoolie gets here," and then Christian, who is the Blue Crew, goes, "He's right there." And we turn around and say, "Hey," and he's like, "Oh shit."
All right, let's continue here. And the sound's obviously awful, but let's see if we can hear it.
Right, so let's take a look at our question here this evening, Mr. Schoolie. We're going back to January 18th of last year, where Coos recorded his 600th career assist in a 5-1 victory over the Red Wings. Thomas, your question is, who is the only other Bolt to reach this milestone?
So, who was the other Bolt to hit 600 assists was the question. They put on there Stamkos, Hedman. Who was the third person?
Yeah, St. Louis.
In St. Louis. Did you know it right away?
They said Cooch just got 600 assists. Who's the only other Bolt to do it? Immediately, my brain said Steven Stamkos. But when you were seeing what the gift was, the giveaway was a Hedman signed no solo hat. It was like, oh, then it's Hedman.
So here's
St. Louis or Scammer? Your answer, Mr. Schooley. He said,
what'd you say? Something about Stammer, but it's Victor Hedman.
I said, I know you tried tricking me by putting in Stammer, but it's the captain, Victor Hedman. And I got the hat.
And you got it. There you go, Victor Hedman.
Mr. Victor.
So,
by the way, this company here is it's a mental health organization that Hedman went with, partnered with for these hats, and a portion of each sale of these hats goes to the foundation.
Yeah, and Greg was wearing them. The Blue Crew was wearing them. So I guess we'll see more of that. Well, plus it was hockey or hockey talks.
It was mental awareness, hockey talks. It was mental awareness. They started with a nice video of Sonia, and then we ended up getting. And Sonia made her return yesterday. And then
pictures of us hanging with Sonia. There it is.
During then she came up to say hi. No, it was during the game.
Did you hear the introduction he gave you? I think
no.
You need no introduction. Let's see if we can.
Oh, yes. He did say that. He said someone who needs
he needs an introduction. He needs an introduction. I don't need an introduction. Schoolie does.
He said, "You guys don't need an introduction in Bolts Nation." And it was funny because tonight I won the Highlight Cooler at the block party, and they were like, they did the number, and I said, "Oh, it's mine," and he's like, "Come on up and get it, Thomas."
Let some other people win some stuff, okay? How much more do you need? How much more?
Serena won the jersey. Serena won the jersey.
All right, yeah. So nice job. I would have never let you live it down if you missed that trivia question. And I would have thought Stamkos at first, actually, but keen observation there with the prize and the and everything that went on. So nice job. Way to not let us down. The only thing you could have done better is you could have grabbed the mic here at the end and been like, "We the Thunder podcast."
We the Thunder and Thunderbolts follow.
Thunderbolts too, yeah. So no, it was cool. It was cool that you got to do that. And thanks to the Lightning organization for letting a crazy boy like you up on the pedestal. All right, this show's way too long. What else do we have? Let's talk about Stadium Series stuff next week. It's been an hour and a half.
Okay, there is a lot of events.
We're gonna at the top of next week's episode, we're gonna go through everything that we know is happening, all the tailgates, there's events beforehand. There's a Friday night event that I think is done by Yingling that somebody's been posting about.
It's not. I asked today. It is not.
So we'll go through a comprehensive list for people that are asking. We are not doing any event. We're trying to go to the game and have a good time and be fans. Does that mean that we will not have some sort of content as a result of this game? I've got some ideas, but as far as like live same day, maybe you'll see us around, but we're not doing any specific tailgate. We will. I know I'll be stopping at several tailgates to come say hi and do what I do at the Channel Club and steal food. But that's about it. So we will get you the full update next week. And then don't forget, like I had announced earlier, I think we mentioned this last week too, Casey Hudson, who used to cover the Bolts. She used to live down here with us. She's a Northeasterner now. She's a New Englander, I guess you would say. She covers the Boston Bruins now. So she is going to join us next Wednesday. I believe we're going to do 8 o'clock. And
we should do a half hour before.
Yeah,
before
that's what we'll do.
So we can talk about the Stadium Series.
Yeah, but the reason why I really want to have her on is I don't remember playing the Bruins at all this season. I think we maybe did once, but
we did once.
We don't know much about the Bruins, and they're having an okay season. They're in the mix. They've got a couple of our old players. Casey covers that team really well. She'll tell us the whole scoop of what's going on with the Bruins, what we need to look for in the big game. And then we'll be back the following week, hopefully with another guest confirmed. Like I said, another woman in hockey. So we'll have the trifecta here. And then we're into the Olympic break.
We played them October 13th. It was the third game of the season. We beat them 4-3. It was on the front half of a back-to-back.
That was our win at the beginning of the season.
That was our one win at the beginning of the season.
But they're a pretty decent team. They've managed to kind of get these veterans and put together a team that's got a little bit of chemistry. Will they stick and make the playoffs? Only time will tell, but hopefully they will lose on February 1st here in Tampa. All right, you got anything else, Schoolie?
No, I'm headed to Jacksonville for work.
Hold on. I've been saying for the last hour and a half, I'm going to drop the link to sign up for our jersey. Stadium Series jersey is the grand prize here. If you go to that site. Oh, that's sweet. That's better than the other ones they used to give out.
Yeah,
if you go to the site, you cannot win that cooler, but you can win a Stadium Series jersey. It will not have a name and number, so it'll be blank. You can customize it to whatever you want. It is only a size 54. We can only give out what they send us. So it is a 54 jersey, which essentially is a large to extra large. Stop showing us stuff that we're not giving out. Don't look at his screen.
I'm just opening it for the first time. It's a big ass magnet. Am I supposed to put that on my car? Oh, he can't hear me.
Highlight is not a sponsor of this show anymore.
That's a magnet. Am I supposed to put that on my car? That's a big ass magnet. Yeah, they don't sponsor us anymore. Screw them.
No, don't say that. Management changes. All right. So from us, the grand prize is in here, by the way. You'll get this beautiful box from Fanatics. This has your Stadium Series jersey in it. That is the grand prize that one winner will win. And you've got a good chance. I think there's about 1,500 entries, but still 1 in 1,500 is pretty good. Now, that's not the only thing. This is the other prize for second place. This is a hoodie, size large, and it's basically like a replica of the jersey. It's got the lines on it. It doesn't have the little engravings that the jersey has, but it's a hoodie based off the jersey design. So really cool. It is a size large. Again, our friends at Fanatics, thank you guys for sending this. All this merchandise is really great. You've got a Fanatics shirt on, super comfy. Like I don't get the hate for Fanatics anymore. Like the stuff's good. Like what's wrong with it?
This is really good. It's really warm. I've had a lot of compliments for it. Apparently, it's not something you can buy online. This exact one. So it's kind of cool that they sent it to us. We got our jerseys customized last night.
We did. Third prize, and I might add a few different winners because we do control this one, which means you get to pick what size you want because we will print them after you win. Our shirts. And this will be really your last chance because we're really not going to have these after the game. So get them before the game because we're going to shut down the website. If you want to get it shipped, it's about $30. They'll definitely get there if you buy them today, and probably up until like Monday or Tuesday, you'll definitely get it before Sunday. They're made and shipped locally. Freeze the Bay. It's got the patch design, the unofficial patch design that we made on it, and then it's also got on the back our logo as the patch design. I don't know how well you can see that, but we're gonna use that logo moving forward sometimes, the little patch We the Thunder. So make sure you fill that out. You have multiple ways to win. It's following us on different platforms. It's posting, it's reposting. Even if you follow us, we've made sure to add some things, and I'll see if we can add anything else for you loyal folks that have been there from the start. So make sure you check Twitter because that's where I will post that we've added more options, but there's like 12 different ways to enter. So go and do that if you have not already. And then we have that set to end on Thursday next week where we will have some winners. So thank you, Fanatics, for giving us the chance to give out some of your awesome merchandise for the big game. Cool.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. We will see you guys next week with Casey Hudson. Anything else?
No, let's get out of here so I can eat my Japanese style egg salad sandwich from 7-Eleven.
Too much information. All right. Good time, guys. Big game. We didn't even talk about the upcoming games, but the next game I believe is on Friday night. Oh, right? Chicago? No.
Well, I know we play Saturday because I'm headed to Jacksonville for work, and Sarah's talking about meeting up and watching Saturday's game. Oh, yeah. Friday, Chicago, Saturday, Columbus, Monday at home against the Mammoth. Sergachev.
There you go. So that's the upcoming schedule, and we'll be back to talk about all those games on Wednesday. Hopefully, we will keep the streak going, the point streak, and right up until the Stadium Series. But we'll talk about everything that happens between now and next week, next Wednesday. Until then, this has been We the Thunder. Don't forget to be the Thunder.
That's it?
That's it.
Yeah. From the Bay. Turn it up real smooth now. Schoolie. Shooter. Let it ride. Let it ride.